What? Alright. Okay, right. So this is your university version for Targan, I guess. Greetings, freaks and folks, this is Vlad the Lad, and welcome back to more spoilers today. We don't have a champion, but we do have a big chunk of cards, like they tend to do in the middle of the... or meanwhile, like between the champions, they tend to release a package of cards that don't belong to a specific thing, and this is what we got today. It's 11 cards in total. I had a little glimpse on them, and I can say, from the first glimpse, very crazy. But before we get into that, I just want to clarify that this video will also have 6 things, ideas, corrections, or facts about the Lurk keyword. And if you're down for that, make sure to stick to the video, as after the cards I will get into that. If you're interested in that. If you only want to watch that, you may also skip to that in the timestamps. Okay, so let's go and check these cards out. We start with a Demacia card that is Field Promotion for 2 mana burst speed, and it says the next time you play a unit this round, grant it Scout. It's now in Elite. Oh boy, that's sick. Like this has so many implications with the Elite archetype, where they have, I mean, you play a unit and then it's an Elite, right? So you don't play effective in Elite, which makes it so that For the Fallen and cards like that won't discount like they would, and also the small Cyphria, and I think the new Scout unit as well has this ability. It won't trigger that. But other than that, this is a 2 mana grant something Scout, and this is big, dude. Like there are so many units that profit from that, especially if you consider Overwhelm in the package, for example. So, yeah, I'm totally down for that. I mean, just combine that together with the, what's it called? The banner lady, the small one, the 1 mana. So you grant it Challenger and Scout if you play this 1 mana banner plus the Field Promotion. It's in Scout with Challenger permanent. I mean, it's a big invest on 1 unit. You have to protect that unit, right? But other than that, it's sick. That's really sick. Like, for example, on Sivir comes to mind first, because she has Spell Shield. It will be safer to play that, right? So you have Elite with Sivir. Like, it's pretty wild, and the first thing that comes to mind, right? But yeah, that's some things that you can play around with that. Really love this edition. Also with Garen, being able to level him up right away the round you play him, because you double strike, you don't need a single combat, you just give him Scout and you attack twice. Just make sure that he survives these 2 attacks, and you're good to go. Woo. I like it, I really like it. And then this is one of the crazy things I was talking about. It's a 4 mana Poro. Let's say what it does. It's a 4 mana 2/5 body, so not too well stated, and it's a Fabled Poro. I love the art, by the way, this Viking Mjolnir stuff. It says, when I'm summoned, grant all ally Poros a random keyword. Woo! That's huge. Like, I mean, thing has it that Poros normally lack stats unless you find the Poro snacks, right? And they usually come with a keyword, or they have a lot of keywords already. So I think they rather need sort of a Bannerman card, like the 4 mana give every Poro +1/+1, for example, or something like that, or even +2/+2 would be viable for this mana stats. And it's not. It's a keyword. But other than that, yeah, definitely a thing to build around, because the more cards you have in a specific archetype, like Poros, for example, the more viable they will get. And Poros are, I think, yeah, they're close to being viable. I had runs where I just obliterated the enemy with my Poro deck, and other times they just deny my game plan. Alright, let's see on here. We have an 8 mana Yeti, so big dude. It's the Abominable Guardian. Like, what are all these words? Also, yesterday, these cards, I have a hard time reading them, and I have no clue what this means. I have to look it up later. And it's a 5/5 body, really weak, but it says, round start, if you have 2+ Yetis, summon me from a hand and create a copy of me in your deck. Play, draw a Yeti. Oh, I don't know. The fact that this is has two versions of it, like you can either play it and get this play effect, and also having this playing from hand if you have 2 Yetis on the board, is pretty big, because like being flexible is always a really important thing to have, right? Think of Twisted Fate, for example, and this is something where you can adapt to the game. And there, if you don't have the 2 Yetis yet, you probably face a deck that has a lot of removal for Yetis, and then you can just play this on mana 8 and draw a Yeti and not run out of steam like this. So yeah, I mean, a really healthy addition, but I think it's still a bit underwhelming for what it does, because it doesn't have any keywords to it. It's just a 5/5 body. And the fact that we have a 5/5 Yeti for 1 mana, if we have the Verosan Trapper, makes this look really bad. But I like the fact that they go on with not forgetting their old archetypes. Alright, let's see Ionia. We have a 4 mana slow speed spell for Ionia. That is Defiant Dance. Oh no, Dance. It's Blade Dance 1. And you recall a unit. Huh? For 4 mana? Isn't that bad? I mean, just think of the recall 2 mana, the lead and follow. 2 mana, recall a unit, fast speed. And then afterwards you Blade Dance 2 for 1 mana more. So we have 3 mana in total. Have Blade Dance 2 and you recall a unit. And here you have its slow speed for 1 mana more. And it's not separated, you have the effect right away. Like, this is the only upside at times. But other than that, this is just strictly worse than Lead and Follow. I don't really know why they printed that. I don't know, maybe you have something better to come up with, but I see this as a bad card. Alright, let's see on here. We have the Starlit Epiphany. What are all these words? It's a 3 mana burst speed spell, and it says Invoke. Okay, I dig that. For 3 mana Invoke is okay-ish. I mean, we have the 2 mana Invoke card, and it says on, if you have a Celestial Ally, replace your deck with 20 copies of Behold the Infinite. What? Alright. Okay, right. So this is your university version for Targon, I guess, where you just, from some point onwards, you just invoke every round some random things, because keep in mind, invoke is, you can invoke everything. You invoke the 0 mana spell and also the Great Beyond and stuff. I don't really know what to think about this. I guess it can be good at times, but I mean, the pool that you can invoke from doesn't batch up every thing that you want to do. Like, for example, there is no heal in it besides the Twin Sisters, right? With the lifesteal. But other than that, if you have a Star Shaping in the deck and you want to draw it later, you don't get to do that because they replace your deck and you only get Behold the Infinite, 20 of them. So maybe a 1-off or a 2-off in some decks where you want to go crazy to some degree with your invokes. But other than that, I don't know. It seems too strict up. Giving up your whole deck is a big deal. Like, for example, with the Zir, where you get the Emperor's deck, this is another thing, because those cards are really, really overpowered. And also the Invoke package is quite strong, but it's not as overpowered like the cards in the Emperor's deck. And also on top of that, you have to pay the 2 mana for the Behold the Infinite, right? So I don't know. I'm not too sure if that's very good. We'll see in the future. Alright, then we have another Tyrant card. It's 1 mana focus speed spell, and it's Heavens Aligned, and it has what? 2 Daybreak effects? No. Okay, let's see line by line. Daybreak, create a random... Okay, you create a random Nightfall card in hand, and Nightfall, create a random Daybreak card in hand. Uh, this is strictly awesome. I like those type of cards. I've seen this in Magic, where you have flexibility between archetypes, and there will also be decks that have Daybreak and Nightfall together in the deck. And for this types of deck, this is the perfect card, because whatever you need in the very situation, you just get yourself a Nightfall or a Daybreak card, whatever you need. And for 1 mana, this is very cheap to pull off. Yeah, I like it. Good addition. Then we have... What is this? A 10 mana Noxus Atakhan, Bringer of Ruin. From the art style, I would say it's more like Shadow Isles. But let's see on. It's a 5/12 body. Attack, increase my power by the total power of all allies. Overwhelm. Ooh. I mean, the effect is extremely strong. The body is super thick, but it doesn't come with anything else. Like, think of Cyphria, Lady of Clouds. In comparison to that, it has the same amount of mana. If you cheat out the Cyphria, you double up Grand, double up, and Grand Challenger your whole board. And the pair for him is you just have a big Overwhelm unit that has 2 HP more than Cyphria of Clouds. I don't know if that's super good. I really love this Doombringerish style cards. Like this dude looks straight up from Dark Souls, and from that point alone, I love this card, and potentially he will be my thumbnail for today. But I don't know if he's super good. We'll see in the future when we build around him. Okay, let's not drag this out too much. I'm already 30 minutes in. Then we have the Thorned Blade, a 4 mana burst speed spell. And it says, give an ally +5 attack this round. Ooh. Ooh. Like, giving Noxus more give plus attack cards is scary at first. But if you think further, you pay 3 extra mana to get 2 attack more. In comparison to the Elixir of Iron. And I don't know if that's the payoff that you want to have. I mean, obviously this card will make it way easier to level up REK'SAI, for example. You want to run this card probably in this deck to get the attack to an extent where she just levels up maybe on first attack. But other than that, I don't see this being extremely competitive. Like, make it 3 mana and it would be just fine, I think. Because compared to the other card that doesn't see a lot of play, the +3/+2 from Noxus for 3 mana, and this is 5 worth of stats. And here you have also 5 worth of stats, but it's for 4 mana. I mean, yeah, on Overwhelm units, it's really good, because this is strictly 5 more face damage, right, for 4 mana. So this is sort of a... I mean, it's even better than Decimate, right, because for Decimate you pay 5 mana and you get 4 damage in. Debatable. I would rather have a 3 mana maybe. I don't know. Maybe I'm not seeing the whole picture here, but in the first place it looks a bit overpriced for what it does. And we have the last 3 cards, which are all from Shadow Isles. We start off with Astral Fox, which is a 4 mana 3/3 body. It has Fearsome and a play effect that goes on a stack. And it says kill an ally to deal 3 to the enemy nexus. So Doom Beast 2.0, I guess, with, yeah, you probably run this in Thresh Nasus, potentially, because 3 face damage is a lot, and you slay one of your units. I could also see this in Undying decks, for example. Like, always if you have Sacrifice, you think of Undying, right? Yeah, looks balanced in the first sight. I don't know, see another big use out of Thresh Nasus for now. We also have to wait and see there what we can build with that. And finally, more landmarks for other regions than Targon and Shurima. It's a Shadow Isles landmark that's called the Twisted Treeline. I've heard that before. Is that a game or something? And it's for 3 mana. It says, once I've seen 3 fearsome allies attack, Destroy me to summon Vilmor. Ooh. Okay. So this is another 3-mana version to summon Vilmor. The other one would be the whatever feast. I will have it up here. I don't know the name yet right now. Where you have to have, I think, 3 allies died to summon Vilmor. And here you have to see 3 fearsome allies attack. And that's quite easy considering there are a lot of spiders that have fearsome. And Vilmor himself is the spider god, I think. Maybe you can tell me that in the comments as well. But I see him as the spider god, and he is the biggest spider there is in the game. Really thick body, also with fearsome. And fits really well in the archetypes from spiders. But then again, it's a big tempo loss. You pay 3 mana to do nothing, basically. And you have to attack, and then you will summon the Vilmor, so you don't even get the Vilmor on your attack, right? So you can attack with the Vilmor the round after, and the enemy has 2 rounds to deal with the Vilmor. So another of these epics that Riot means to have a really good card and a unique card, but you know, epics in Legends of Runeterra are mostly trash. I have to say it. But regardless, I will, as always, build with that card for sure. Because I like the Vilmor thing, Spider Gods theme there. Alright, these were the cards for today. And now I invite you to the 6 things that I have for you about Lurk. And we start off with REK'SAI. In my video yesterday, I was reacting to him. If you haven't seen it, you can click up here and see that. But stay here for a moment before you watch that. I said that I thought that he would only buff things by 1. It says on attack and if I lurk, or if I lurk, not and. And I thought, okay, either he lurks or he attacks and you get +1. That's better than normal lurk, because on normal lurk you need to have a lurker on top of your deck, attack with a lurker, and then you get the +1 attack, right? But Gable actually from the comments yesterday pointed out that he has Lurk itself with a keyword. The REK'SAI has Lurk as a keyword, plus it says in a text if I lurk, so you actually get +2 forever. So potentially or on paper a double lurk effect, which is a really big deal because this makes things like the 6-mana Overwhelm unit, where we thought it would be hard to get it to an extent where it has the Wild Claw stats, makes it way more easier to pump it up to that extent. And also, it's not only if the REK'SAI is on top of your deck, so if she lurks, she gets +2 for everybody, but also if she attacks, because it says attack or lurk, so if you have a lurker on deck, another lurker spell or follower, then you will also get the +2 attack if REK'SAI is on your attacker's side. Then the second thing I have is an idea. I also posted it in a comment yesterday that I think it has big potential, the Lurk archetype with Shurima and REK'SAI together with Demacia. And the reason for that is that you have access to rally effects, where you can get the Lurk effect off on the enemy turn. Also, you have access to Cataclysm, where you can use the REK'SAI effect that she has upon attack. Like the attack effect goes off double, which means if you attack with her normal and then you Cataclysm, you essentially attack double and buff everything again with this Cataclysm. So this is a really neat combo there, and also you make use of her stats because she has 6 HP in the first place, and then turn 3 there's not much that can deal with that. So you have a really easy time maybe banging 3 spell mana until turn 3, then you play her, attack, and then you Cataclysm if he doesn't want to block your REK'SAI, and that's normally what happens, I think. And also you have access to single combat to yet again make use of her stat line. The third thing that I have for you is another commenter from yesterday pointed out that there's, in the video, there's a 8-mana Bilgewater card, Lurker, that we potentially will see tomorrow. And I'm really excited for to see that, because it potentially is a really big sea monster-like thing, or I don't know what they will have. I guess it's swimming because it's in Bilgewater and it's 8 mana, it's really thick, and I'm really excited for it. Then fact 4, if you're still sticking to the video, you're probably like me and what I do, and you should show it with a like. No, I'm kidding. Like you can obviously like, but my fourth fact isn't that. My fourth fact or idea is that we have the swarm unit fish from Bilgewater that was shown, that if you play it, it will have the auto attack. Like if getting off a free attack potentially activates the lurk effect. And if you combine it with Bone Skewer, you can potentially save the fishes that normally get blocked because they only have 2 HP and will die on this attack. You can use Bone Skewer to save that unit, potentially kill something off, put it on top of your deck, and then you start your normal attack, and you know that this fish is on top of your deck. And potentially you can do the same thing the round after if you have a second Bone Skewer. So this is a really neat combo that I wanted to share with you. And yeah, also this is something that you can obviously do on the enemy attack turn, but it doesn't make too much sense because normally you want to make this on your attack to also get off the normal attack to know that there is a lurker on top of your deck. The 5th thing that I have for you is the correction to the video yesterday. I thought that her signature spell from REK'SAI will shuffle the card back into your deck, but the fact of the matter is that you put the card on top of your deck that you choose to get rid of your hand. Like you have to pick something from your hand and you get rid of it, but you put it on top of your deck, so yet again, it's way better than I thought, because you put a lurker from your hand on top of your deck, and yet again, you know there's a lurker and you get the lurk effect off. And the 6th and last and probably most exciting thing that I read on Reddit, I can't give the proper credit because I didn't find the post again. Somebody pointed out that if you really write the wording from Lurk, it actually could be the case that you have the ability to double Lurk if you just swap the lurker on top of your deck, because the lurk effect goes off from the lurker that is on top of your deck. So if you manage to attack, then maybe draw that lurker, or predict and put another lurker on top of your deck, and then you manage to attack again, for example with rally effects, then you are actually able to double up the effect. But this is not confirmed by any developer or anything. This is just what the community thinks, and this is also how I read it. So I think that's a potential thing to look into if you build around Lurk. Alright guys, this is everything I've got for you today. Thank you guys very much for sticking around and seeing the whole video. If you still enjoy, or if you're still here, you probably really enjoy what I do, and I would be grateful if you subscribe to the channel. And other than that, I see you tomorrow with more reactions. Probably my best guess is Pike cards and the lurker package from Bilgewater, the rest. And then the day after we will get Pike, I think is my best guess. But we will see about that. It could also be Echo Raid. So until then, you stay legendary. Blood out.